Same shirt as last week? I have a funny feeling I am. I can't remember. Well, I detest going clothes shopping. I would much rather spend my money on Stash. So, now that I'm doing these videos a lot more frequently, you're probably going to see me wearing the same clothes a lot. So, if I wore the shirt last week, well, I'm getting a repeat performance. And if it was 2 weeks ago, well, maybe you'll see it again next week. I don't know. Happy Monday, everyone. How are you doing today? It's the start of another week. It's been a busy week for me here. The shop has been cooking along, and I have been stitching, I have been sewing, I have been knitting, I have been making applesauce because it's that time of year. I have been hanging out with my fiber friends. I put a picture in the beginning of my yarn taking a little bubble bath because my friend Louise and I have a little challenge going on. For the Fiber Friends podcast, Adrian sort of sweetened the pot a little bit here. There's a couple of shawls that we didn't finish for various reasons. And so we sort of challenged each other to a non-deadline sort of competition. Whoever could finish their particular shawl first would win bragging rights, and also win a skein of yarn from Adrian, who was going to offer that up. And I have a yarn tag right over my head, so I'm just going to move that. And then it won't look like it's floating over my head. Is that better? That's better. So, it is a gray, rainy day here in London, Ontario. We got a little bit of snow last night, but not nearly enough to stick on the ground again. And what we had before, the few centimeters that fell last week, have melted and left the ground kind of disgusting and muddy and gross. So when Nicholas went to school today in his shoes, I looked at him and I said, you can wear those, but you can't play in the field. And he looked at me and he said, why not? And I said, have you looked at the ground? Because I don't really look forward to cleaning up those pants and those shoes when you get home after playing in the field. So we trooped back inside and changed into his boots, and hopefully he's having a lot of fun. We live pretty much right next door to the school that my kids, Sarah's done, she's in high school now, but Nicholas is at the elementary school that's right down the road. And I can hear the children at recess time and the bell, and I hear the bell ring, and I hear all the shouts and the screaming and the playing, and I can look out my window and I can see the kids all bundled up in their winter gear. And it's quite funny, actually, whenever we have our first substantial snowfall, guaranteed by the end of first recess, you look out the window and there's like 50 gigantic snowballs that the kids have, been industriously rolling all recess long, and then they'll go back at lunch recess and make them bigger, and then last recess they'll turn them into a big fort, and it's quite fun. I like to see that every time. So I have a little bit of things to remember to say today, so I have my list so that I don't forget anything. First of all, thank you to everyone who left me suggestions about places to spend my money when John and I head to New York in a few weeks. I have a few that I have taken note of, and I'm going to try and see what I can get to. I'm going to try and take a little bit of video while I'm down there. My recording schedule might be a little off when I go, so I'm going to try and record the Friday Stitch with Me. It's not this week. It's in a few weeks. So I guess you don't even need to know that information now. I'll tell you later when you need to know. Because those Friday Stitch with Me's are fun. They are quite well attended, if I do say so. Everybody is joining in whenever they can, all weekend long, and I have people joining in today and sending me messages about what they're stitching and where they are, and it's turning out to be a really quite a nice thing on Fridays that I really look forward to. So I will always tell you on Monday what I'm planning on working on Friday. So that being said, I mentioned last week my friend Verena, who lives in Germany, who started stitching. And since then, actually, there have been 2 more knitters who have fallen down the rabbit hole. My friend Asa in, I believe it's Finland. She's in Finland. We call her Awesome Asa so that I can remember how to pronounce her name properly. She has taken up some needlepoint. And an Instagram friend, and I say friend, but I know her by her Instagram name, which is Cerulean Blue, and she has kitted up, I believe, a magazine design. And the fact that we are turning knitters over into cross stitchers, some multi-craftual people joining us, I think is pretty thrilling. So Verena was watching. She was listening to the Friday Stitch with me, and her partner, who she calls Mr. Knitworthy, which I think is the greatest name ever. I know you understand what that means right away. Someone who is worthy of your hard work and your care and your love and your attention, because the things that we make take a really long time. They cost a lot of money. These are not inexpensive endeavors. And more than that, it's the emotional output into the work that we do. And then to give that to someone who, and you can't always blame them, because let's face it, we're a special breed. We understand what goes into this. A lot of people really don't. And so when you pour your heart into something that you think someone is going to love and appreciate, and then they receive it and they look at it as if, well, oh, that's nice, thanks. I think there's very little that's, more disheartening than that kind of a reaction. And so the fact that she calls her partner Mr. Knitworthy is warranted. He is that indeed. And he supports Verena in all of her numerous knitting projects, and in fact has joined in himself, and joins in on the yarn buying. And when Verena goes to wool festivals, he joins in and helps choose yarn and chooses his own yarn, and then hands it to her and asks her to make very specific things for him that he chooses. Now, one of these days, I think Verena is going to say, here, I'm going to teach you how to knit, and now you can just knit yourself these projects. So apparently he was watching a little bit of the Friday Stitch with me, and also looking at Verena's new project that she was enjoying, and said to her that he thought he would like to learn how to do that as well, and would she maybe help him pick out a project. I know, right? Isn't that great? I thought that was pretty exciting. So well done, Verena and Mr. Knitworthy. 2 thumbs up. My enabling hat is fully on, so I'm thrilled. So the next thing that I wanted to mention, I had mentioned, I believe on Friday, about Elena and her sister Olivia. Olivia has been putting out Flosstube videos for a little bit longer. Well, she was the first sister to start, and I believe she has 13 episodes out now. And Olivia, if you're watching this, it's been a few weeks. I think we're all ready for an update. So, looking forward to seeing what you've been up to. And about maybe a month ago, her sister Elena, who I believe lives in San Francisco and runs a bakery. I know. So the next time I go to San Francisco, you can bet that I'm going to check that out. And I'm going to just pop in and, meet my new stitchy friend, Elena, who was just in Paris and went to, of course, all the most beautiful cross-stitch shops that she could find. Her pictures on Facebook were amazing. So check out those two floss tubers, Olivia B and Elena B, and I will write the names of their podcasts on the bottom here. Most of you, I'm sure, are probably already watching them, but in case you didn't know about them already, check them out. They're lovely podcasters, and their stitching is amazing. Another quick mention, another Flosstube video that I have only just started watching this morning while I was getting ready to record this podcast. So I've literally only watched about 10 minutes of their first episode, but I loved their energy. I loved their friendship, their obvious connection with each other. So I just thought I would mention Holly and Anita. Holly and Anita on YouTube as well. They have three episodes out, and girls, super fun, and I can't wait to watch more of your show. So hopefully that gives everyone else watching a few new options of videos to watch to keep you company while you're stitching, and I hope you enjoy. Next and last of the mentions that I wanted to do at the beginning so that I didn't forget anything and then I can get on to my own stitching is this weekend, and I think it might have just been yesterday morning. I've mentioned it before. There's a Facebook group called Stitch Mania, and it has thousands and thousands of members. I'm very late to the party. I'm sure everyone watching this already knows about this group. There was a post yesterday on this Facebook group, and it was a lady named, her Facebook, I'm not sure that this is her real name, but her Facebook name is Mel Jillian. She posted a photograph, and I'm not going to say anything before I show you the photograph. I do have her permission to share this picture, by the way, so I'm not stealing someone else's photograph. She said I could do this. So I'm going to show you her picture, and then I'll come back in a minute because I just know you're just going to laugh because it's so funny. So here you go. Did you get it? Wasn't that funny? Any stitcher who knows, if you need a snack beside you and that snack has something like, orange crumbs, you're not going to want to eat it and stitch. And those little tongs made me laugh so hard because as soon as I saw the picture and her tag was you all understand ... And as soon as I saw it and I saw that tagline, I thought, I do understand. I totally understand. And then I started reading the comments under the picture, and somebody else posted that they'd eaten salted peanuts with a little spoon. And I laughed even harder because I've done that. I've totally done that. I've had a little thing of peanuts beside me while I'm teaching. Well, not while I'm teaching, while I'm stitching. I don't eat peanuts while I'm teaching. Too many peanut allergies. But while I'm stitching, I love salty peanuts and a little spoon so that you don't have greasy, salty fingers. And I could not stop giggling over that picture. So I had to ask her if I could share it with you in case you didn't see it on the Facebook group this weekend, because I thought that was worth a really good laugh. So there you go. You're welcome. And thank you, Mel Jillian, for agreeing that I could share it with everybody. So let's get to stitching. I have 3 whips to share with you today. They are nothing new. You have seen them before. You saw them last week. So I'm going to start with Dido, Sampler Cove. I worked on this. I think this is week 3 that I've been showing this one. 4? Week 3? I'm not sure. Anyways, I've done quite a bit. I keep looking over there again. That's my old habit. I have to remember to look over there. So here you go. And I think it doesn't much matter which way is up because it's symmetrical. All the sides are going to be the same. So I've done quite a bit, and I've worked my way to the edge. I am now at the far edge. So, go me. I love this design. I love it so, so much. So I know this is probably week 3, and you're probably going to see it a few more weeks in a row before I finish it. I am using 2 Gentle Arts threads for this design. Grape Arbor is the purple, and Old Hickory is the sort of golden color. So those are my 2 colors. One more peek. That Grape Arbor is such a rich plum color. I love it. Love it. So I've made some fairly good progress with that. The next piece that I was working on, you saw on Friday in my Stitch With Me video, and that was my Prairie Schooler Santa, the Woodland Santas. These guys here. Ooh, bit of glare. And I've done a little bit more. So many of you have asked how I plan on finishing them. So as you can see, lots of empty fabric, empty fabric, empty fabric, empty fabric designs. So, and I am going to frame these. See, and I did quite a bit. The reindeer has a backside and 2 legs and the beginnings of a saddle. So, you know, not too shabby, I think, considering how busy I was this weekend. Oh my goodness, it was a crazy, crazy weekend. This was a concert weekend for my daughter Sarah, who's in the youth symphony. She plays the oboe, and so it was concert weekend. And on concert weekends, they have dress rehearsals Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and then the concert is on Sunday afternoon. And so, and I had to drive to Niagara to pick up an enormous stack of bags for our shop update that we just did. And so I drove to Niagara, picked up the bags, came back. We had a bunch of other stuff going on. Sarah's rehearsal happened. I updated the shop, which took hours, and then concert on Sunday, the next day. So I think we're all a little shell-shocked today, and feeling grateful to get back into everyday routine. So that being said, there wasn't a lot of time to work on the only other project that I really wanted to get to this week, which I mentioned last week, was the Rosewood Manor Winter Quakers. That's this one, this beauty. And it is, oh, it's an amazing design. So I'm using the exact same fabric for this design that I'm using actually for the Prairie Schoolers. Actually, I didn't mention, I'm just going to back up a bit here. Go back to Dido for a sec. This is 40 count white linen, and I'm doing it 1 strand over 2. The Woodland Santas is a 32 count, oops, upside down, 32 count natural linen, 2 strands over 2. And then I'm using the exact same fabric for the Winter Quakers. So it's a 32 count natural linen. So I was quite disappointed to not have time to do what I wanted to do with this. So before I sat down today to record this video, I thought, okay, make time, because sometimes you just need to make 10 minutes for yourself. So I did, and I sat down and I stitched the little birdie in the bottom left corner, because I love to start in the bottom left corner. That's my place of choice to start. I am doing my own thread conversion for this pattern. So what I'm going to do is, as I stitch it, I'll tell you what I'm using. So the bird itself is, where'd it go? Here it is. The cardinals, I'm using another Gentle Arts Schoolhouse Red. And then for the legs and the beak, I just used DMC 3371, Prairie Schooler's favorite color. 3371, and I think it made a nice beak and legs, and you know, when you only need 10 stitches, less, make do with what you've got, right? So sometimes it's nice to buy all the threads as recommended, but sometimes those of us who have especially substantial stashes, it's really nice just to use what we have and make do. It's so cute. So I was thrilled to put in a few stitches. Now, this linen, I didn't do it for the Woodland Santas either. I used to always use a product called Fray Check, which is like it looks like a liquid, very liquidy white glue that comes in a little, it looks like a little glue bottle as well. And you just run it along the line of the outside of your fabric. And then when it dries, it creates this kind of soft, rubbery sort of, it closes in and locks the holes of the linen so that it doesn't fray, right? It's Fray Check. So I used to do that all the time, but then I kind of got lazy and I stopped doing it because I figured, well, I'll just trim off the bits at the end. And then I bought a secondhand serger from my friend Adrian, and I started using that. So, but then I ran out of time to even do that. And so none of my fabric, this has not been serged, it has not been fray checked, nothing. Where did my stitching even go? I can't even find it. Oh, there it is. So this is not a small project. This is a big one. This is an enormous one, which is, you know, daunting, but that's how we roll, right? The bigger the better. So there's my bird at the bottom. And I most likely will start the large diamond motif that's at the bottom corner there just by the bird. I will probably start that before this one goes away for a while. So those are my whips, and I have a little something special from my stash pile, so I will just go and get it and I'll be right back. Okay, so if you guys remember last week, I told Letitia, Crafty Curator, that she should get her wallet ready, because if she doesn't already own this pattern, she's going to want to buy it, because I know that she loves butterflies and I know that she loves bright colors, and this is a good one. Okay, this is another Northern Expressions Needleworks design, and it is the Twisted Band Sampler. So this is the pattern, okay? Now we started this as a stitch along at Thread and I 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But everybody chose their own colors and everybody chose their own fabric. So everybody that was in this stitch along group, and I think there were maybe 20 people, it was a big group. I'm probably one of the few that haven't finished. Maybe. I'm not sure. But we won't go there because it's all good. It's all good. So we all chose our own fabric and we all chose our own colors. So I chose a 32 count white even weave. I believe this is a Lugana, and my design, I chose shades of purple and teals. So that's mine so far. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. These are Dinky Dyes silks that I'm using, and I have no idea the names of them. I'm sure I will look them up and I'll tell you more about them next week. But so it's sort of a variegation effect. There are, let's see how many, I can't remember how many different threads there are. So this is a variegated, that's 1, lighter purple 2, darker purple 3, and then this sort of pinky purple is 4. So there's 4 different skeins of Dinky Dyes that I'm using a combination of. Not a combination of, they go in order. And then I will do the entire design with those 4 shades of purple and the one variegated that has the teal in it to stitch that entire design. And I I love it. I really love it. I think it's going to look beautiful on my wall when it's done. When it's done, and who knows when that's going to be. At some point in the future. Maybe. Maybe I'll just enjoy it because it's purple and I'm stitching purple. And that's fun too. So many beautiful things. Aren't we lucky? This is just such a wonderful, wonderful passion that we all share. So it's a lot of fun. So that was my offering to you today from the stash pile. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope maybe I helped you find a new pattern or designer that you didn't know about. And that maybe you'll start your own with your own color combinations. Because, you know, we're pretty creative people. We can come up with lots of different unique ideas. Okay, so I know that I had said I was going to do a separate video with a shop update. I'm not going to bother doing that because frankly, I'm out of time. I am pressed for time this week with paperwork for John's business and my teaching schedule, and also the fact that we had the big shop update in the first place. Those who follow Ep.13 on Instagram and Facebook, also we have a Facebook page as well. I had posted on Saturday night when the shop update was live, and the sales started then. And so the Christmas bags are selling really well. And thank you so much to everyone who has placed an order already. I am working very hard at getting the orders out in a timely fashion. That will be happening all this week. So if you have purchased a bag, you will know when it leaves my house when you receive an email from Etsy saying that your item has been dispatched, which is it makes me giggle your thing has been dispatched. So I have dispatched it. And it will send you an email when it has left. And so, you know, there were a couple that I wanted to show you, but I really don't think it's worth doing a whole other video because that's just boring. No one wants to watch another whole video of me showing you a gajillion bags, and, you know, that's just really boring. So I have a couple that I wanted to show you that didn't photograph particularly well because by the time I was finished uploading the pictures or taking the pictures, it was dark. The light was terrible. And it's always better to take photographs of the products, of the bags, in natural light because they just show better. So the pictures, most of the pictures that are on the site are pretty good, you know, and if there's anything that you want to see more clearly, I'm happy to send you, you know, different, better photographs of anything. Just send me an email, send me a message. It's probably best to email me directly, caroline@evertote.com, because lately I've been having trouble with both Instagram and Facebook and not receiving messages for a long time or period. I will hear back that someone was trying to get a hold of me and I never received the message. And that's really disappointing because it makes me look really bad. It makes me look rude and it makes me look like I don't care or that I don't want to answer, which is really not true. So please, if you have a question or if you have sent me a question in some other way that has not been answered, please email me, caroline@evertote.com. And I will answer you. So please. There are just a few bags that didn't photograph very well. This one is one of them, and I'm not even sure how well it's going to it's going to show you the colors. And that's my little reindeer tote. It's so cute. But this pale green does not translate well. I think that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Aren't they sweet? Oh, they're so sweet. So I have this in a medium cross stitch flat tote. Here's the lining. Oh, I love that lining. And I have a couple of those with a matching notions pouch. I also have this fabric in a supersized jumbo large wedge tote, oversized wedge tote. So if you like that one, there you go. The only other thing that I wanted to show you today, to take the time to show you on the screen, was an example of the large handled bags that we have. I have sold one. I should have seven left, and these are all the large handled bags that we will have until after Christmas. They're big. So this is the size of the large bag. It is a box bottom. So I like to think of this as either a large knitting bag, so you can have a sweater project or even a small lapgan project in here, or a retreat bag. This is the bag that you pack all of your other projects in to take with you on your stitching retreat. So it comes with the D-ring on the side for whatever purpose you want to use it for. The handles and the bottoms are a twill, so they're a nice thick fabric. There is an 80-20 cotton bat that we use as our inside, so it is not interfacing. There's nothing stiff. There's nothing crunchy about the bag. It's very, very soft and pliable. And then in our new large bags, we have started putting a big pocket. So there is a pocket on the inside for your glasses, your scissors, your keys, your gum, your mints, your chopstick, whatever that you don't want rolling around on the bottom of the bag, it's there on the side. So this is a large bag, and as you can see, it's quite roomy. So I often have my wedge totes or my cross stitch totes in here. So we joke, it's the Matryoshka bag. Matryoshka, bag inside a bag inside a bag. It's literally true. That's how I roll. So I love these bags. They're beautiful. They are really beautiful. One other thing to mention, I did mention on Friday that Stitcherista had done a product review for us. I did send her some bags specifically for that purpose, for her to receive and to review. But the one thing that I forgot to mention to her that I think is important for people to know about our shop is the sort of the guarantee that we offer on the bags. It's really hard to buy things online. And we put a lot of time, a lot of work goes into these bags. They take a long time to make. And, they are priced accordingly. They are not an inexpensive product. We feel that they are worth the cost that they are listed for. But we like to think that we stand behind them. We think that the quality is good. If you receive the bag and you don't like it for any reason, it doesn't look like what you thought it would be, you weren't able to really tell from the picture, the quality of it, of what you wanted, for any reason, if you don't like the bag within a week, you can send it back to us and I will either refund your money or send you a different bag. We're pretty confident that you're going to love the bag and not want to do that. But I think it's really nice to know that you have that option, because when you're spending your money on something that you can't see or touch or feel, and you have to rely on other people telling you that something is good, I think that's a risk, and you're taking a risk on our shop. And so I want you to know that we're willing to back that up. So there you go. That's it. That's our little guarantee. There's a ton of bags in the shop right now. We will not be doing another big update most likely until January, other than the Fiber Friends winter kit will be coming out at the end of November. And that's a kit that comes with a skein of yarn, a wedge tote, and a pattern. It's going to be a good one this year. This winter. We've put out 3, so this is our 3rd. It's a good one. And the wedge tote this time is coming with a matching Notion tote. Is that it? There might be the odd bag pop-up that's new, mainly because I like sewing, and I'll make 2. I'll make one for myself and I'll make an extra one for the shop. So other than that, there probably won't be a lot more new things in the shop other than the Fiber Friends kit until January. And then we do plan on another big update in January, probably the middle of the month. So I guess that's it. That's it for me. Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you what we're going to work on Friday. That's another thing. I'm going to have to call it something different. So I could use some help. Lately, I've been labeling them Stitch With Me, number 1, Stitch With Me number 2. YouTube is flagging them for some reason as inappropriate for advertising. I don't know why, because there's absolutely nothing inappropriate in it. But what that means is that they will not put ads in the beginning, at the beginning of the video. And I don't know how much you guys know about advertising on YouTube, but just a little brief information on it. There are some of us who have skippable ads at the beginning of the video. We do receive a teeny tiny weeny little bit of money from those ads. I'm certainly not going to be quitting my daytime job anytime soon and becoming a full-time YouTuber, but it may help put a few pennies in the coffer towards the time that it takes to make these videos. If you let the ad play through, I think I make a few extra cents. And if you skip it, it's fine too. Obviously, I'm not saying watch the ad. I'm not telling you to watch the ad. What I'm telling you is that YouTube will decide, their little robots will decide that something about your video isn't appropriate for advertisers, and so they will shut down your ad at the beginning, and they won't play those ads. Well, the first 24 hours is when the most people view the video, and so if you have zero advertising at the beginning of those videos, even the skippable ones that people can just click to skip right through, you're making no pennies on those ads. So I think that it's the Stitch With Me part, something with me. Maybe that's euphemism for something else that I'm just not cluing into. I don't know. And I really do not want to search around, if you know what I mean. I'm not really looking to search around and spend the time to find out why that's being flagged, but it is. So I need to label it something different, because it was this last one and the one from last week as well. So the second one and the third one were both flagged for, and then I have to go through a review process and so on and so forth. And it's a pain in the patootie. So anyways, let's call it something different. So yeah, and that's it. So now you know a little bit more about YouTube monetization than you probably wanted to know. So let's get back to stitching. It's Monday. I will see you all on Friday for the Stitch With Me video. I think I'm going to stick with the Prairie Schooler Woodland Santas for one more week for another Friday stitching, because it's been really nice to see some progress happening on that. And boy, I'd love to have that second one finished soon. So join with me on Friday, whatever you want to do. Stitch your own Prairie Schoolers, stitch your own Christmas piece, work on your counted canvas, hand quilting, knitting, weaving. I don't care what you do. Just join in. And I think that we should have a little, I don't know, because not everybody's on Instagram. I don't know. For those that are on Instagram, we could have a little hashtag where when you're watching it, if you're watching it on Friday night or throughout the weekend, even the whole weekend, it could be something like off the grid stitching party or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Is that something that you'd like to do? And then you could check out what everybody else, you could actually see what everybody else is working on. Because reading about it in the comments is awesome. But if we could see it as well, if we could get a quick little glimpse into what you're doing right then during our little Stitch With Me party, that would be fun. So have a think about it, and let's discuss it on Friday. And then maybe we'll implement the hashtag or whatever we decide to do on the following Friday. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and hitting the like button and leaving me a comment. I'm pretty caught up on checking into all the comments. I think I've answered all the questions that were in there. And again, I found a comment hidden in the spam folder on YouTube that was not spam. It was somebody who'd left me a comment, and it was from 3 or 4 days ago, and I'd completely missed it. So if you have a question, email me, caroline@evertote.com. Please, because I like to talk, and I'll talk to you. So send me a message, and have a great week. I'll see you on Friday. Happy stitching.